Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have a couple of new drugstore makeup products I'm going to be trying out with you today. I found some really interesting looking brow products at my drugstore recently. So we're gonna take them for a test drive today. I also have a new lip gloss that I'm excited to try to see if it is a dupe for a very beloved lip gloss of mine. I also have some updated thoughts to share with you guys on my Lancome foundation, which we'll be using again today, and then just filling in the gaps with some other things that I'm really loving right now. Before we get into all the makeup though, if you are a new visitor here, I wanna give you a very special welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure that you are subscribed and that your notifications are turned on. And with all of that said, let's get right to it. All right, first things first, I have an eye cream that I wanted to show you guys. I actually picked this up just a couple of days ago. I've only used it once so far. It's from a Korean beauty brand called I Do Care. It's their Glow Key Brightening Vitamin C Eye Cream. So I used this yesterday. I think it's so nice and very cute. It comes with this little like metal ball that you can apply it with, which is super, kind of learning to really like that under eye massage. So I just take a little bit on the actual little metal applicator itself and I just kind of go side to side. It's so nice and cooling. It helps that my basement is freezing. So this product is going to stay nice and cold down here. Let me know if you guys use eye cream on a regular basis. I don't. I never have historically. I dabble in eye cream or under eye patches here and there. I think they're helpful. It's just one of those things I just don't usually bother to do. I've been watching someone that talks about how important it is to use an under eye cream recently, so I'm trying to start doing it a little bit more. The one that I saw recommended was the Kiehl's under eye cream. So I happened to see that one also at my Ross. I didn't really intend to buy it, but I thought, oh sweet, the Kiehl's under eye cream is here. It was $59. I think there were two. I think there was like a 2-pack of the Kiehl's eye cream. It was $59 at Ross. I don't know how much that stuff retails for, but I went with the $5 eye cream instead. It's made in Korea. I trust products that are made in Korea because I've had such good success with most of them skincare wise over the years. And this one seems to feel really nice and hydrating. All right, let's move on to get some foundation on my face. I'm actually just gonna spray a little bit of this Rice Niacinamide spray on me. It actually works better before foundation than after because it's such a strong sprayer. And for today, I wanted to go back to my Lancome Tanti Doll Ultra Wear Care and Glow Foundation. I've been using this for about almost a week now. I do really like it. I need a good 2 pumps of this. It does not have quite the coverage that my Natasha Denona has. I think if I had to pick one between those two foundations, I'd go with the Natasha Denona one. But I do really like it. So there's about a pump and a half. Then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of my ABH Luminous in 160. Just to lighten it up a hair. And then I'm going to apply that with my Persona foundation brush. How pretty the finish of this foundation is though. It has such a pretty soft glow to it. It's really nice. It's also very pricey. I think this foundation without the discount that I was lucky enough to get it for is around, I think it's $53, which I usually don't like to spend more than $40 on a high-end foundation. I did notice though, the wear time on this seems really good. It reminds me a little bit of the wear of my High Glam foundation. It really is a lot like that one. It just has a little bit less coverage, I think. But as far as the consistency, the little bit of glow that it gives, the long wear of it, they both wear really well. So I don't know, I'm kind of like, it seems like they're kind of similar to each other, which I'm very happy about. Okay, let's add a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna take my Revolution Skin Silk, do a little bit more massaging of the under eye. I'm gonna go with my Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush. I do have my Alter Ego brushes here that I am still loving and using. I don't know, this is the concealer brush. It's called their large concealer brush. I don't know that I think it's a little too large for me for every day, especially for when I really wanna target this spot. I need a brush that's gonna be a little more precise. I could wash them and designate one of the many eye brushes as a concealer brush, but I have this one on hand and it's great. It's a great concealer brush. By the way, they do sell a duplicate set for the Angie Hot and Flashy brushes by BK Beauty, and I have tried them both. These are probably my most used brushes, the BK Beauty ones, and I think the Alter Ego ones are very, very similar. I don't think they're quite as dense as the BK Beauty ones, but I mean barely. Very, very close, and they wash up well and they're significantly more affordable. So I will link both sets down below for you guys. I have been linking them lately because it's Christmas time. It's a good time to buy brushes when lots of things are on sale. Or I think brushes, if you know someone's into makeup, you can never have too many good brushes. Just want to add a little bit of concealer to a few spots that I need it. Coverage wise, I think those 2 full pumps got me just about where I need to be coverage wise, but especially around my nose, maybe this is a bad idea when your nose is crusty, but for the video, it will probably be good to conceal some of that redness. I'm gonna add a little bit of powder. For that, let's take this large powder brush. This is the 108 from Alter Ego. I really don't need this for powder because I don't usually apply powder everywhere, but I'm just using my Stay Matte powder, which is a very lightweight powder. I'm just gonna kind of put this mostly on my eyelids, like the tops of my cheekbones where I put some of that concealer. Let's just use some powder bronzer today. I'm gonna take my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer with the 113 brush from Alter Ego. Just gonna do a nice, quick All right, let's add some highlighter. I'm using my MAC Double Gleam today. I've discovered something about this highlighter, which is so great, by the way. This highlighter's been around forever. I remember watching, I think it might have been like the old school, like early Jaclyn Hill talking about this one in like 2004. Maybe not, maybe it wasn't that early. Maybe it was like 2008, but it was a long time ago. But I've discovered something about this. This makes a fantastic eyeshadow. If you want to just brighten up, if you want to do just some like simple bronzer in your crease. Highlighters always work good as eyeshadows, but something about the color and the reflect and the like pigmentation of this one does a great job brightening up your inner lids. So if you have it, pull it out and try it out on your eyes. Maybe we will today. And then I'm going to throw on my Kosas Spellbound blush, which I am also loving. I love this one. In fact, I think the one I think I'm gonna give the, here's the package. I still have it on my floor. The original color, the shade Euphoria, which is a very pretty soft kind of rosy pink. It's a little bit too light for my liking. I mean, it worked good for me, but I like this one better. It's like this one really shows up. It's so pretty and berry toned. I love it. Especially for wintertime. I love a good flush cheek in the winter. Now I'm going to zoom you guys in because we have some new brow products that we're going to try out today that I want you to get nice and close so that you can really see them in action. And while we're at it, we'll tackle the eyeshadow as well. We'll probably do something kind of simple. So we have 2 brow products we're going to be testing out today, starting with this one right here. This is the L'Oreal Faux Brow. This is a brow pen that has a double brush tip. So I'm going to insert a close-up of this right here so you guys can see this brow tip. Very interesting. It looks kind of like a catfish or a stingray, some sort of fanged animal, kind of has those like 2 prongs. I'm equally afraid of trying this and curious to try this, so we're gonna try and see what this does today. I love a good brow pen, but I'm not sure what having 2 tips, whether it's gonna make it more difficult or less difficult. We'll see. This will be fun to test out together. I also picked up the NYX The Brow Glue Crazy Lift, which is kind of a brow laminating glue. Curious to see how this compares to their normal, the brow glue. This one that I really like. Obviously a different product, different applicator. It looks like a lip gloss applicator, but it has this like built-in kind of Barbie brush at the top. Let me show you guys the Faux Brow. In fact, let's give it a little swatch on the back of my hand. I went with the dark blonde shade. Cross our fingers that we got this shade right. So, oh, interesting. Looks like a little eyebrow I just drew on my hand. Okay, this should be fun. So I don't have anything in my brows. I'm just gonna brush them up right. I really wanna get maximum stickiness out of this. I think it's supposed to last for 2 days. That's what the packaging says. So it's supposed to be very long wearing. Color looks good. I kind of like the double tip brush. Interesting. Back to my spoolie. All right, there are the brows. Pretty good. I'll say that's more like a medium brown shade, but I like it. You guys know I've been liking my brows a little bit darker lately. Let's try out the crazy lift next. So I'm assuming we just kind of squeeze this until we can see the product come out. Okay, there we go. A little bit of product there. I'm gonna kind of use my finger to kind of smudge it into the little applicator, and then we'll just brush that through. It doesn't come out very easy. You gotta squeeze pretty hard. Back to my spoolie. I was wondering if this would feel kind of thick and stiff in the way that like the ABH Brow Freeze does. It's not quite that thick feeling. It's kind of somewhere in between. It's thicker than a gel for sure, like a clear gel. Starting to feel it harden. Not harden, but I'm starting to feel it like tighten. This side I'm just gonna use the applicator itself just to see how much control I can get from it. It works good. It does look like a Barbie brush. I mean, don't you think that looks like a Barbie brush? All right, there we go. Definitely more stiffness to this than what you get from the glue. Let's throw on a bit of eyeshadow. We're just gonna use my Fill and Bubbly palette today. I'm just going to start by throwing this shade all through the crease. This is the 210 brush from Alter Ego. Let's go with the 208. We're going to take the darkest brown shade right here. Got a little bit too much on my brush. Go back to that first brush that I used, wipe it off a bit, and just lightly go over what I just put down, blend it. Normally this shade I don't go that heavy with. I put a little bit too much. It's gotten just a tiny bit patchy there. If that ever happens, go back to the first shade you put down, kind of your initial transition shade, if you will, and just kind of feather that on top of the dark shade you're trying to blend out. Kind of fill in some of those patchy gaps. Help it blend out a little bit more smoothly. That looks a lot better. Okay, let's go over to the other side. Go back to my concealer brush, and I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup underneath. And normally I'd go back into this palette for some of the amazing shimmers in here. Some of ColourPop's best shimmers are in the Fill and Bubbly palette in my opinion, but I do want to show you guys the power of this Double Gleam highlighter as an eyeshadow. So I'm going to take this on my ring finger and just show you guys how much shine and pigment this gives as like a inner corner brightener. Really just take it about the halfway mark. I'm gonna go back to that initial blending brush. I'm gonna wipe it off and just feather that across the center to blend that. Look how pretty that is. Tiny bit of liner from Wet n Wild. Now I'm going to throw on a couple coats of my e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara, and then we'll have one final look and finish off with the lips. All right, eyes are all finished. We're going to move on to one more product I have to show you guys. It is for the lips. This is the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balm. I know these have been out for a while, but since 2025 for me was the year of the lip balm. I have so many that I love. I thought I would give this one a try. Finally, I picked up the cherry one because my obsession with these lip balms really all started with the Summer Fridays Cherry Gloss, which I think I tried out. So last Christmas time, it might have been last fall, a year ago in the fall. ColourPop has a great dupe. Persona has one that I love. I've also been loving the Milk and the Essence lip balms this year. So naturally, we're gonna pull out the OG Summer Fridays Cherry Lip Balm or Butter Balm. This is a 15-gram tube of product, whereas the e.l.f. one has the same, 15 grams. So that's great. Let's do a side-by-side swatch of these ones to see how they compare color-wise and pigment-wise. So here is the new e.l.f. one, and then we have my Summer Fridays right next to it. So this is the Summer Fridays, this is the e.l.f. They look pretty close. Ooh, let's give those a little like blend really quick. Ooh, blend it out. They look even more similar. That's promising. They feel similar too. Let's see how this feels on the lips. So the e.l.f. one definitely has a fruity smell. It's different than the Summer Fridays one. Honestly, the Summer Fridays one, I don't dislike it. I generally don't love cherry scented, like artificially cherry scented things. It's not my favorite scent. I'd rather something like a mint or vanilla. Very soft and buttery. Actually, I think I like the scent of this one just a little bit more. Pretty color. Very similar to the Summer Fridays and the ColourPop one. This is definitely a good candidate for a cherry lip gloss. If you're looking for a stocking stuffer for someone, you can't get your hands on the ColourPop one, or maybe this one's just a little bit cheaper. I think this one was $8, maybe it was $9, but I like it. Very, very nice. I actually think this one might be even more buttery feeling and comfortable than the Summer Fridays and the ColourPop one, which have a tiny bit more stick to them. I don't know if that will or will not affect its lasting power. I generally don't reach for a lip gloss for its lasting power. It's more of a just kind of on the go thing to take to give me just a couple hours of hydration and color and shine. Of course, I am tempted to add just a little bit of liner just on the underside. Honestly, if I'm in a pinch, if I'm in the car, I usually won't add liner, although I do keep a lip liner in my car. But if I'm like going somewhere where I want to look presentable, I'll usually just do this. Kind of like right in the center and sort of fade it to the sides just to give my bottom lip a little extra fullness. And that is it, you guys. This is the completed makeup look today. Let's talk about the eyebrows. I think they look really nice. I actually like the one where I use the product itself to kind of like feather it out, just feeling it. It's not quite as like plastering and laminating to your face as the ABH Brow Freeze, which you guys know I love, but it's kind of it's one of those products that I feel like you love it or you hate it, or if you use too much or go too far, it ends up looking a little bit strange. So it kind of seems like a good in-between. I'll keep playing with it and keep you guys posted. Same goes for the pen. I like it so far. Color-wise, I think it works well in my brows. I honestly don't know that the two-pronged thing was all that different than just using one. I don't think it was as difficult as I was worried that it might be, but I don't know that it's like that innovative. It looks kind of cool, but I'm not sure practically that it really does anything different than just a basic brow pen, but if it lasts for a good long while, this might be a good candidate. I did notice while I was at the store that e.l.f. I think now there were a couple different brands that had a brow pen that I have not tried yet. I think Maybelline and e.l.f. I noticed both had one, so might have to go back and try one of those out in the near future. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'm sorry if this one's a little bit long. I do have some shorter videos planned for you guys very soon, kind of more like tutorial, kind of how-to videos. If that sounds interesting, let this be another reminder to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Thank you guys again for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.